so let's get started. The first piece of equipment I'm going to demonstrate to you is an elliptical. It's very reminiscent of the old Nordic tracks. Much easier to operate and much more common that you're going to find in a gym than the old Nordic track. But the idea is the same. It's a non-impact workout and cardio. For my money, the stepper or the elliptical is one of the best pieces of equipment that you're going to find in a gym, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, I want to talk about before you get on a piece of equipment, I do recommend that you wipe down the handles, and what you do not do, by the way, is we ask that you don't wipe the screens of the equipment because that leaves a residue on the screen. But you do wipe the buttons, wipe them down before you get started because the good chances the person before you did not wipe it down. And by the way, don't leave these in the pockets. Make sure you throw them away when you are finished on the machine. I'm going to demonstrate now how to get on this particular elliptical, and I want you to know that you should always have one hand on the machine. Don't trust yourself to just step or jump on the machine without holding onto it in some way. I'm going to step in between, and then I put one foot on the big foot here. And I want you to know that the minute I do that, the machine is on. The machine is working. It's very unlike a treadmill. It's not automated, but it will move the minute you step onto it. So please be aware that you should be holding onto it. I'm going to immediately just get my legs going. I'm not going to even press any buttons to begin with. In fact, you have to get it going to make the machine work, okay? So I'm holding on. If you want to involve your whole body, which I highly recommend, I'm going to grab up here so that not only my feet, but my arms are working here. And I'm doing a little bit of arm as well as feet work and leg work. So remember everything I said about leg strength. So I'm going to talk about hitting this button that says start. All right. It says level 1. I'm going to hit the up button, which makes it, tightens the belt on this, which makes it harder for me, like I'm running in muck. Let's use the expression. But guess what I'm doing? I'm really working my legs here. When you're ready to stop this machine, you stop. You're the engine that makes this go. Just as I got on, I'm going to continue holding on, and I step down and over. And I'm finished with the machine. Again, this is one of my favorite machines because you don't have to do it for an extended length of time, and you really get a lot of cardio and a lot of resistance on your legs. The next piece of equipment that we're going to talk about is the treadmill. Everybody likes the treadmill because everybody can really walk, and that's what the treadmill does. A nice advantage that the treadmill has, though, is that you can elevate the treadmill, which is something that you cannot do when you're walking the streets of your neighborhood. So you can get a little bit more challenging of a workout by walking up. I do want to tell you that, again, we're going to wipe down the equipment before, and I want to show you as I step onto the machine that I will wipe the buttons and the handles, but please do not wipe the screen. This does leave a residue, and I can see now that there is some residue on there. So you want to wipe where people touch the handles and things like that. Again, I'm going to leave it here till I'm finished, but I will remember to throw it away when I'm done. The first thing I do on a treadmill is that I'm going to put a clip on myself. An emergency clip that if for any reason you would slide off or lose concentration, that you would immediately stop the machine. This stops the machine immediately. The treadmill is automated, and it's going to go whether I'm ready to go or not. So that makes it somewhat more dangerous. In fact, the treadmill is probably one of the most dangerous pieces of equipment in this gym or any other gym. I do not want you to be afraid of it, but I do want you to be aware that it's an automated piece of equipment and that there is some danger to a machine that is just going to take off moving whether you're ready or not. So what I recommend is that you mount the machine like this. You put your feet on either side of the machine so that as I'm starting to press the buttons, you are not all of a sudden jolted into movement. So on most of the treadmills, and this is universal for almost all different kinds of treadmills, there is a green button. And usually what that says is quick start. I'm going to press the green button. You can hear it says on this one in particular, starting in 3, 2, 1. And my machine is going, it's so funny. Some of them start pretty quickly. This one is really slow. So I'm going to show you I can step on this machine pretty safely. And I wouldn't, but you can see that whether I walk or not, the machine is going to continue to move. All right, I am going to hit the plus button, which is going to increase the speed of this. Please do not put your hand on the button and go beep, 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 because all of a sudden it could be moving faster than you are ready. I'm going to bring it up to just a comfortable pace. All right, this is a nice speed for me. I do tell people not to walk too fast on a treadmill. It can be bad for your hips and for your knees. So please be aware that, and although Josh and I are doing this, I want you to know that I should not be looking this way. I should be looking this way whenever you're on a treadmill. You want to be looking ahead and keep your head up. I talk about posture a lot, but I want you to know on a treadmill, it is paramount in everything that you do on a treadmill. What good is it for me to walk like this on a treadmill? It would be better not to do the treadmill at all, to get some other piece of equipment. You really should keep your head and eyes up and forward as you're walking. I'm going to go just a little faster. I don't recommend that, that you can take your hands off and pump your arms, but if there's any concern at all about your balance, please keep your hands here. These take your pulse. So as you're going, it will tell you not only the time, how long you've been on the machine, but your pulse and your heart rate will be on there. So my pulse right now is 98. Not burning a whole lot of calories because I'm not walking too far or too fast, but I am moving. Once you get moving on a treadmill, I want to make sure that you do not make one huge mistake. Try to take off my sweatshirt while I'm on this piece of equipment. You don't try to maneuver this while you're trying to walk on a treadmill. You have to, you must stop the machine, step off the machine, and then take off your sweatshirt or sweater or whatever. The second thing you never do is lay this thing on the piece of equipment. The reason is because if I start back, okay, it's going to start back. All of a sudden, if this shirt falls on the treadmill, it's going to trip me up and cause me to fall. So you never want to leave anything, any towel, anything on this equipment. If you take off your sweatshirt or whatever, you're going to have to hand it off to somebody or put it on the ground. I do want to demonstrate the incline because the incline is a great gadget. It's going to get me to walk uphill. So without walking too much faster, I can get the challenge of getting my heart rate and my cardio up. Okay, so here I am walking at a 9 incline and it's getting my legs stronger. Remember that? Legs are stronger and I'm not necessarily running or damaging my feet and my knees or hips. I can keep a good steady, and my pulse has gone up a little just by the fact that I've elevated the machine and the calorie count too. All right, I'm going to bring down the incline. All right, it's going to come all the way down. The best way to stop is to hit the stop and it will slowly come down. Okay, our next piece of equipment is the bike. This is a reclining bike, which is nice because it's pretty comfortable, pretty easy to operate, again, and easy to get in and out of. I'm going to start again by wiping down the handles, and there are a couple handles on this bike, and I'll explain to you about them. And I can wipe again where the buttons are, but please do not wipe where the screen is, okay? And I'm gonna put, there is a pocket. On most of the pieces of equipment, there is a place to put a water bottle. On this one, it's right beside you, but on almost all the pieces of equipment, there is a place to keep your water bottle. That one thing I do mention usually when I talk about working out in a gym, please do not bring any open containers because you could spill water on the floor that could be very dangerous. All right, I'm going to I'm going to start by holding on to the equipment. I'm going to slide in here and have a seat. Now, I'm going to put my feet in the pedal first, and the reason is because this is like a car seat. This is going to slide forward. There's a handle here on the side, and you're going to slide forward and back to adjust this bike pedal for you. Two things, you do not obviously want to be too close or you're going to bang your knees, okay? And you also do not want to be too far so that when you're biking that you're hyperextending the leg. So you're going to have to play with this. Sometimes there is a number down here, not on, there is on this bike, but it varies with each bike so that you feel comfortable. I actually need another, I got short legs. But I do want to make sure that my knees bend and don't hit anything and the leg has full extension. I'm going to push down on the heel of it. So notice again, unlike the treadmill, this is not automated. I can just go like this and I'll be perfectly happy. But if you want to get it going, I can hit start and then it turns itself on. By the way, I've had this with some of my students with the bike. If you stop, it will not start until you're pedaling. So notice that I started pedaling first. Once you hear the machine comes on, I can hit start. That's when the machine is on and I can hit the up button. What does the up button do? The up button tightens that belt. So again, it becomes a little bit more difficult for me to pedal. Why is that important? Leg strength. So I know I'm harping on this leg strength thing, but you notice how important leg strength, as I mentioned, is to balance, it is to posture, it is to everything you do so that you are capable of doing all these other activities. So leg strength is a big deal. This is a perfect way to work on that. I have noticed I do not have my hands up here. I think that kind of throws off your posture. I put my hands down here on the silver again. When I hold on to this, it will give me my heart rate. Let's see. By the way, if the machine does not read out your heart rate, don't panic. It's the machine's fault, not yours. This is definitely cardio, even though I'm sitting down. No impact, so it's easy on my feet, my knees, my hips. So I like the idea of a bike, because I'm really working here. And I'm going to slow it down. Again, I can go down with that, with the level, and it becomes easier for me. But you should see just by my breathing that it is a cardio exercise, even though I'm sitting. So, and I just stop pedaling. The bike is a great place to start. If your doctor has said, get moving, the bike is an excellent place to start because you can sit down. Everybody should be able to bike, and you can tailor it to the level of activity and cardio that you want to do. I've stopped moving the bike. Again, I always use my hand. Stand up, hold on to the machinery so that you're not moving too fast. I would say most of the time, accidents happen when you're moving too fast. Slow down when you're in here. All right, so we have done all of the cardio equipment. We're going to move on to some weight training equipment. Why is weight training important? Because your body needs to keep symmetrical. If you see people that are tennis players or golfers or whatever, one side of your body is often stronger than the other, just due to normal everyday activities if you're right-handed or left-handed. We're going to move on to weight training, which is the purpose is to keep your body strong on both sides. Keeping your body symmetrical is important when we talk about balance again. Weight training is also important for upper body strength and posture. Okay, I'll see you then.